patriarchy. Yes, we don't do all that.
Y'all are creeps just as much as we are, but we have this is double standard.
Okay, but that's y'all.
We have a double standard stigma that only men can be creeps.
The way y'all are creeps is too outward. Y'all need
that's
to
what it is. We obvious with our creeps.
So don't blame it on us. That's not.
No, I do blame y'all.
That's stupidity.
Women in society, matriarchy. Women in society making us creeps. Yeah, matriarchy.
I don't know though.
Making us creeps and shit. And y'all do the same creep shit we do.
Absolutely not. Y'all stuff is outward. Like you said yourself.
This gray sweatpants stuff got y'all wildin'.
Creep.
This great pants.
Oh, I saw a meme. Wait a minute. I saw a meme of a girl, and the dude was like, "Y'all not the only ones that look at gray sweatpants." And it was a girl in gray sweatpants.
But that ain't the same.
Equal opportunity.
It's not.
Well, you should have seen the picture.
It gotta be like gray yoga pants.
They were cute. They were
to make sense. Gray sweatpants don't make sense.
They were cute. They were cute.
And be aggressive and mad when nobody posts their dick on them.
Y'all creeps, man. Like y'all, women are creeps, bro. And they be trying to act like they mad.
So you're not gonna protect them. And they throw a shade too. Oh, nobody gonna pop up. It's gonna be quiet. No, you a nasty.
But y'all do the same thing.
No, we don't.
Yeah, y'all do. Oh, y'all know we're not gonna post those kind of pictures on it. Oh, it's Titty Tuesday. Let's go. No, y'all know nobody gonna post it.
No, you know what? We got groups.
100% perfect. And that's perfect.
And we like,
no, because this is why I'm gonna say y'all creeps and this is double standard with the creepiness. Y'all will post a picture with a dude looking a certain way with his like beard, muscles or whatever, and then y'all all will go creep out, fan out on the pics and be girl woo woo woo. As soon as a dude posts like a pic of a female, y'all come trying to make us feel bad. Do y'all have to be this misogynistic? Do y'all have to? Oh, these are the kind of girls y'all like. You're like y'all only want to talk to girls. Y'all only post girls that look like this. Like
wait a minute, you talking to the wrong girl. I don't do that. When a guy,
but you know what I'm talking about. There are women who will kill your post. If they got anything to do with a woman.
This is what I do. This is what I do. I'm gonna tell y'all my secret. Okay, because I already told y'all my okay secret. I'm gonna tell y'all my other secret.
Okay.
When the girls post guys on the post, I won't say nothing. I'll say something like,
interesting.
It was sunny outside, or that's what we doing today, or something like that. Like something like not creepy, but it's totally so.
It's totally creepy. It's so you can follow along with the thread.
Yes.
And every time somebody comments, it's gonna pop up. I know. But then y'all try to act like as soon as a guy posts some girl, y'all gonna find first somebody comes on, they gonna find a flaw.
She's usually a man.
That's probably a man. Like y'all be trying to kill niggas. We don't come on the post with y'all.
No, that is not
trying to kill y'all dreams.
No, that's not true. Quincy does it.
On purpose.
On purpose. Just hater.
He was like, he's probably on the not the no-fly list. Why is there no-fly list? He probably on the Megan's Law or something like that. He was like,
that nigga a pussy.
But then the girls are like, for real? He is.
Exactly. Y'all gotta act like y'all not
I get it. I'm not gonna hate on y'all. Y'all do y'all. What you're saying, we go to I'll take it to the inbox. I won't creep out loud.
You want a taco?
That's more. I won't creep out loud. I won't creep out in public.
That's the only difference, man. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't creep out loud.
So how you gonna blame us for y'all creeping out loud? You want us to be out with our creeping?
Matriarchy.
Yeah.
That's not matriarchy. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You just throwing that word out.
Hey, misogynistic picked up steam the last 2 years. Man, we just keep this matriarchy thing.
I hate
gonna pick up.
I hate that damn word.
You can't call it double standard November no more. Either.
I know.
Double standard December.
Yeah, double standard December. It keeps going.
It's double standard winter.
Yeah, the whole winter.
Well, we don't have winter in California.
We do now. Listen, today on Uncouth Radio, we are going to talk about why do black women think a black man can't talk to a white woman without being mesmerized by her Caucasian pussy.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
That's pretty much what it boils down to.
Hold up.
I mean, he just got straight to the point.
Hold up. I, as a black woman, am not going to let that be the topic, okay? You need to summarize appropriately, and then we can discuss the issue.
Okay, I'll summarize.
Thank you.
So,
I said appropriately.
Oh, let me read what I'm about to say. So, Tomi Lahren, is that her name? Tomi Lahren? Tomi Lahren and Trevor Noah from The Daily Show, they apparently went out to have drinks after his show. And black women were up in arms about him going out with her after for drinks and saying, he was mesmerized by the poon, and how could you go hang out with a racist white woman? And I knew he wanted her, and you know all this type shit. And then I guess Charlamagne was also seen with her, and you know Charlamagne they already got him on the flame list. People be waiting to flame Charlamagne ass, so he got the same you cooning shit too. And they said Trevor was cooning. What was the words? Cooning for white poon. That was
for white poon?
That's one of the
That's what they said?
That's one of the quotes that I read today.
He went in on her on the interview.
He did win it. That's the thing. He did go in on it.
He went on.
Okay, so that was
interview.
that's the summary.
Well, you know what?
That's the summary of what happened. But we can, like you said, we can't leave out the elements. He went in on her interview. He made her look 100% stupid. Afterwards, I guess he was getting flamed by his listeners, his followers, calling her a cunt, a dumb white bitch, and woo woo woo. So he was saying, well, that's not right either. You know what I'm saying? That's not right either. He said, but me and my producers of my show, and her producers of the show, we all went out for drinks after. And then he said, but when TMZ got a hold to it, they cut everybody out and made like it was a date with just the two of them. Man. But he said, so that, cause that fit the narrative. He said, but literally, it wasn't like no crush shit, it wasn't no date shit. He says all this, but it does not matter that he has said all this. Women are still saying, nah, it's something about him. He's mesmerized by the white woman.
Women or black women?
Black women.
Black women.
Yeah, it's black women.
Okay.
Yeah, it's black women.
I just gotta clarify that.
No, we do have to clarify that. So it's black women saying he's mesmerized. So I feel like because he went to drink with her, I feel like because it was like so many girls saying this on my timeline talking about he's mesmerized by the white pool. I'm like, so do we think an intelligent black man can have a conversation with a white woman without being seduced by his poon a la Rosewood 1920s?
Right.
Well, according to the
apparently not. And what's really bad is I do think that I watched their entire interview, their first interview, and I listened to his interview with Charlamagne where he clearly addressed what everything was about. And I don't think it was anything more than someone's on my show. Maybe we hit a wall we couldn't discuss, or maybe we're trying to get over some discussion hump further in the discussion. Thank you for being on my show, because he bought her cupcakes. So for some reason, the cupcakes is like,
yeah, cupcakes.
That's what did motherfuckers
like you can't buy nobody no cupcakes.
That's what did it mean. His staff. He said his staff.
It is about
Trevor Noah's staff bought her cupcakes.
So
as a thank you.
So as a thank you for being, because at the end of the day, she was brought into his territory. She sat there and had a conversation.
She was a guest on the show.
She was a guest on the show. It is about the conversation, because that's what it was. There's nothing else outside of it. We didn't see them walking out holding hands. We didn't see anything besides what he said, which was them out, him, thanking her, trying to defend what his listeners were saying, which was attacking the person, not the issue, which is what constantly people are doing. And I think it was a huge stretch to come from that conversation and about what they were discussing to say, yeah, he is a white woman, this is this and that. I think those two now he's become the face of liberalism, and she's become the face of conservatism.
Absolutely.
18 to 35-year-olds, they are both reaching those audiences.
If she doesn't like labels. She's a millennial.
Okay, she's a millennial. She doesn't like labels, but despite that, that's what she is. That's who people are. People listen to. I know. That's what people listen to. That's what's out right now. If it would have been a conversation with, like he said, he's had conversations with older people that have not been new.
No, he didn't say older people. He said, I've had conversations with people that you didn't deem attractive.
Okay.
And you didn't say none of this shit about them. And that's the part that I have a problem with, because I watched the Daily Show.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a number of conservatives on the show.
What I think was interesting about their conversation.
Dinner with them later?
Well, they said it's kind of a normal thing, because like even Jon Stewart would do it. Like if they had a discussion on the air and they didn't have enough time, they would have after hours, or they would go hang out after
But
and
what I think
discussion.
was nothing new. And what I think was interesting about the conversation was he hit some very, very key points. And I think what happened was he made her see like, man, maybe I need to I'm not answering his questions. So maybe that wasn't enough in that 26 minutes for them to address the issues that he wanted, and maybe she had some questions. Because you know what, that's possible too. Some people are so in their own, like, this is what I think and that's it. There are people in this world that actually are willing to listen to other people's views and understand, hey, there's another way. You may be conservative. Hey, maybe you have this, because I remember one thing he was saying, you're saying he shouldn't have protested. How should he have protested? I think that's a very simple question. Yeah. So maybe throughout the time she was like, well, maybe, I don't know.
Well,
she wasn't given the adequate.
She
was stuck.
But and let's talk about context too, because the context of who he is as a person and how he operates also goes to what he was saying with how he operated after the show, which is very important. He made a point to say, in his belief, in his mind, this is why I didn't like people calling him a coon and saying he was cooning, because one thing I did not get from the interview is that he was cooning, that he doesn't care about black people, and that he doesn't have an understanding of black issues. I didn't like that.
And one more thing, someone had told me he backtracked. He never backtracked.
Never.
Not once.
Anything he
Not
said.
once.
Okay, wait. So I have to just clarify something real quick, D. They're saying he cooning not because of the date. They actually think he was cooning on the interview too?
No, they think he was cooning because after the interview. It's all post-interview.
No, the problem is there's an interview out there where he clears everything up and put things in perspective. But people would rather believe what they want to believe instead of it's like Chandler, like we was discussing in the car. It's like willful ignorance. There's information out there to challenge what you think about someone, but you refuse to go look at the information because you just prefer just
Well, and it's funny too, because the people that's doing this, like everybody's talking shit about Trump supporters, just like disregarding facts and shit.
Yeah.
But now y'all doing the same
exactly
fucking
what's
thing.
happening.
Y'all doing the exact same thing, just disregarding facts to fit your narrative. Cause I'm like, he said in the interview, he said racism cannot withstand contact. Like racism would not live with contact. He said what that means is racism won't live if we continue to be in each other's space and each other's lives.
So he evades space.
He says so his whole thing is, if I'm talking to her and I'm getting to know her, it's gonna be hard for you to be racist when you got a lot of black people in your life. It's hard for you to hate black people when you got a lot of black people that you care about.
And that's where it starts. Like that's where it starts. Getting to know that side and getting to know the other side.
So to me that goes to his philosophy. So to me, even if he was having just a conversation with her afterwards, that goes to his philosophy of let me inject myself into her life to show her how black people operate.
Right.
So maybe some of her views on black people will change. Now, that's not my philosophy on it, but I understand his philosophy. And if that's his philosophy, this is in line with his philosophy of breaking down racism. So how is that cooning if he literally stated exactly his views on racism, how he operates within racism, and how he plans? Because he even said, like you said, willful ignorance. He said, I never say my way is the right way. I never say my way is the only way. He said, I said, this is the way that I do it. I look at life like it's a video game. We go up against big bosses, and some people do it different. So I can say, Sam, you don't have to do it like this, but when I came up against this is how I handled it. It might work for you, it might not. But he literally the whole time he's saying, I'm not saying there's a right and a wrong way, but this is how I handle things.
And that's the biggest issue with people is the moment you don't do something the way they would do it, it's wrong.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just different. It's not necessarily wrong. And if you go back in history and you look at the issues that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had, they both had the same agenda, but they had different approaches. Their approach was different in handling things.
That debated even still today.
By people. But it seems like, to me, it has nothing to do with the racist issue and the cooning. To me, if this was Rosie O'Donnell, a unattractive white woman, and he bought her a cupcake, nobody would say shit about it.
Nope, they wouldn't.
So my question is this. So
put the mic to you.
Okay. So he actually addressed it.
Yeah.
He addressed all the stuff by saying if this was an unattractive white chick.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
he said the reason.
Yeah, he did a 43-minute Breakfast Club interview. Yeah.
Yeah, he said the reason that it was an issue because she looked on as an attractive white woman.
Because she's an attractive white woman to me. She's just so regular.
Well, see,
she is literally like she's a white girl.
I think somebody said. I think that's what somebody said. It's what you think y'all like. Like it's what they think y'all as black men like. Like that's what.
Who's they though?
Well, the
black women who saying
Brandon, look, I'm gonna need you to catch up.
Wait,
hey man, we post this shit in the group.
This is why this is for discussion.
Wait, they think that Tomi Lahren
is attractive.
is the type of white women that we.
Yes.
Well, that's why it's an issue, because otherwise it wouldn't be an issue.
Damn, look at this. I had that look right. That look. That Sam.
I'm gonna wait till Brandon catches up.
I just no. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not caught up. But I don't understand who made this standard.
Well, that's exactly the issue.
Because
Matriarchy.
Don't say that again.
So,
That's so ridiculous.
Okay, Jen, can I ask you a question? Jen, as the only black woman on the panel, did you have an issue with it?
No, because I watched their whole interview, not just the 5-minute clip. I watched his and the interview that he had with her, and then I listened to the one that he did on Breakfast Club. So there was nothing that I felt came out of it that I'm like, okay, he's trying to just get with her, and that's why I just felt like it was 2 people on the panel. He schooled her, he talked to her, he hopefully educated her. Later on, whatever happened is what he said happened. So I can make my assumptions. If I made assumptions before and I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if you know. He bought. They sent her cupcakes for being on the show, something like that for being on the show. Okay. So that's like a big deal. Like cupcakes, it's like the cupcakes are like, what about the cupcakes?
I want to ask Daniel, you're in the entertainment business. Is it not normal for someone to send a guest a thank you gift?
Me and Brandon can actually tell you it's the most normal shit ever.
Okay.
Like especially if you on a talk show. There's a lot of times if you're on a talk show or a radio show, post after you're on the show, they'll send you something. Like if you was a good guest and they like you and they want you to come back, they will send you something.
So we've never sent any of our guests.
I think the box of donuts, bro.
I remember
we gotta send boxes of donuts.
I remember I did the show. Remember when I did the show Vibe with Chris Spencer?
Yes.
And I did the show Vibe, and they gave me like a hoodie, Vibe, sweater with my name already stitched into it, like all kind of stuff.
That was part of it.
Normal. Yeah.
He gave her some cupcakes, and now he gave her it's like an engagement ring. Come for the white girl.
And that's the thing. It's like they taking things that are kind of normal, but because it's not paid attention to in other instances, it's magnified.
Exactly.
You know, I guarantee you this. I'm not saying he probably sent cupcakes to everybody. I guarantee it's not the first time he sent a gift to a guest who was on the show. Guarantee.
So Quincy, you were saying something about when he was on about backtracking. Are they saying he backtracked?
Yeah, well, see, the problem is people are saying this, but they haven't watched the video.
Right.
That's my biggest issue.
The backtrack is coming from the fact that after the assumption is after they met, after they had the interview, then they had a dinner, and that was him backtracking.
Yeah,
he was. They don't know what the dinner was about.
But he talks about the dinner on the damn video with the Breakfast Club, but people would rather to continue to stay narrow-minded and stuck on what they want to believe about him, where it's actual fact, like.
And we talking like this is what I have a problem with. We talking about a man who grew up in apartheid, who his mama had to dress like a nanny just to walk down the street with him, so he wouldn't get taken.
His dad couldn't walk to school.
His dad couldn't walk to school with him.
People that's talking shit don't even know that about Trevor Noah.
Well, that was part of what we heard in the interview.
That was part of the Breakfast Club interview.
So I'm just way behind, huh, Jim? That's what you're saying, huh, Jim?
And I'm curious how I mean, I get it being upset at because of who she is as a person and what she stands for.
And I get it.
But ain't he half white?
Yeah, he is half white.
A half white man can't go out with a white woman.
Well, I think a half black man should be able to go out and talk to a white woman especially if he specifically said, no, it's not no crush shit. I don't have no crush, because this was all asked to him specifically head on. You got a crush on her? Hell no, it's not like that. I don't have a crush on her. This is what it is. And this is what. And he explained why.
Another thing, a lot of people, because when people will call her a white cunt and a white bitch, he like, no, that's not what we're gonna do here.
Right.
And so I was telling Chandra, I said, look, if Chandra went on a show, a white conservative show, and of course her views ain't gonna be popular on that show, and there are people saying, oh, she's a black bitch or whatever, wouldn't you want the host of the show go like, look, me and Chandra, we don't agree, but she's not a black bitch.
That shit off.
How dare him stick up for her?
Right, and that's exactly what he did. So all that together means he's chasing a white woman.
Yeah.
Somehow he wants to white.
And the funny shit is, all I saw, I was like, he's been a classy dude. That's the crazy shit. To me, I just saw him as being a classy dude. I'm like, oh, he's been a classy dude and a gracious host, because if Jon Stewart, who had the show before him, did all these exact same things, they would call him a classy dude because Jon Stewart and who was like his arch nemesis?
Sean Hannity.
Sean Hannity and the other dude.
O'Reilly.
Yeah.
They went at it, but he still had a respect for him, and he still would even say like, if they did and said things out of order, he'd be like, nah, we're not gonna do that. Like they trying to boom and he trying to do everything. He like, nah, we not here to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like we gotta pick and choose our battles, and you can't throw everybody on the coon train. Especially if I'm like watching the shit that he's saying, I'm like, how can you say this nigga's cooning when all his shit was really on some pro-black shit, but just in a different manner?
And that's the thing. Like I think I looked at what he was saying from his interview with her and from his interview on the Breakfast Club from an educational standpoint.
Right.
Like he was strictly there to educate her and educate us on what he was saying and what happened throughout the interview and after the interview. So if you're not looking at that, if you just screaming she racist, she's this and she's that, it's like you're not learning either.
Like how many people really knew before his interview that his producer crew and hers was there at that dinner?
They didn't care. It didn't matter.
Because TMZ clearly cut that out. Right. They made it look like they were there by
themselves.
Yes, by themselves. And it's like, sometimes if somebody is clearly saying, no, this is what it is, and they're trying to explain themselves, why not hear them first? And then
it's easy to say the black man is just chasing a white coon because we can't control ourselves around white men, clear.
Yeah.
And that's the shit that I don't like. I don't like the narrative that just because of the white, we can't control ourselves around white women. The devil in blue dress.
Funny thing about this, I hope I'll get the comparison I'm about to make. But it's almost similar to back in the day when a man would get like lynched for even looking at a white woman.
Yeah.
But now we're doing it.
Media wise.
Like where he'd be damned if he even said hi to a white woman with blonde hair.
Well, I think one of the things that he pointed this out was the media made it look like what they wanted to make it look like. And it fell right into that narrative that they were looking for. Because, again, we can't sometimes say, okay, we don't trust the media. The media only puts out what they want to put out. They showing us this end of the video, and it was like this. And I was like, no, the media saw them. They were at dinner. I don't care what he said. If the people were there, he bought her a cupcake. He chasing the white woman.
TMZ did manipulate, right? Because y'all said
absolutely, 100%. And again, like I said, none of this is like a secret now because he literally spoke on all of this shit in the interview. He spoke on this, he spoke on his background, he spoke on why his views of racism are the way they are because of where he came from in Africa. Because it's like, even though his views don't 100% align with the way I feel about racism, I get why his are the way they are because our experiences make who we are. So his experience growing up in apartheid South Africa is totally different than ours growing up as black men in America.
And to just because I've been trying to figure out how I was going to get this in there. I actually had an Uber driver from South America. Uber passenger from South America, and he was one of the first black people who were born in this hospital that only white babies.
Oh, you said South Africa?
Yeah, from South Africa.
Yeah.
He was one of because their hospitals were segregated, and the only reason why he was born in that hospital was because his mom was a nurse at the hospital and she went in labor.
Wow.
And I say that to say this because to go back on what's his name? Trevor views. He said that when Mandela became president, he said because normally what happens is whoever becomes president then kills their oppressors. He said that's normally what happened in Africa. Whoever gets in charge, like, okay, now, so, because he said a lot of Africans was upset that Mandela didn't say, you know what, okay, now I'm in charge, let's go kill all the white folks. But Mandela felt like, you know what, this only gonna start a civil war, and that's where that contact comes into play. And so, where the best way to attack racism is by contact.
Yeah.
And I could tell from how this guy talked about Mandela and hearing Trevor talk about his approach to racism, I could see how that correlates.
I actually was just telling Chan this last night. There was a picture posted on my Facebook. It was an old school, about 10, 12 years ago, where it's 3 white guys and then there's me. And so, the way the picture's set up, there was people clowning and whatnot, but then eventually somebody was like, oh, look, the token black guy. And that was cool too, because I'm comedic, so I found it funny. But then it kind of started popping up more. Oh, look at the token black dude. And what I told Shan was, those same 3 guys that you see in that picture, before I came into the picture, had different views on black people. And not because they were racist, but because they didn't have any experience with anyone black. And so now, if you fast forward to today's time, when we as black folks post, those are the same white people that are reposting our posts, because now when I hurt, they now hurt because of their friendship and experience with me, because now, since I came along, they started pulling more black people into their life. And so I completely understand what Trevor means when you start invading people's space. The more people you have in your life,
and to be honest, I'm sorry, just because before I forget this point, I've seen her show, because somebody said, "Have you ever seen her show?" This and that. She has her, they are all over the place, but she always looks very confused. I don't feel like she feels very confident in what she's saying.
Well, she's not informed.
She's not informed. Yeah, she doesn't see. So it's very easy for me to believe that when Trevor kind of like talked to her and it struck some light bulb.
Well, because it's easy, because it's always her by herself.
Yeah.
Just spewing her shit. It's her by herself. It's nobody to combat that shit. It's like Donald Trump and his Twitter. If there's nobody to combat the facts, you feel like you're right all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody talking back.
Do you think she's trolling? Like, because I watched her.
Do I think she's trolling? I thought she was at first.
I think she believes that shit 100%.
Really? Because like some people, I've seen comments, because I've seen many of her videos and shit, right? Like, obviously, I saw the one with.
Oh shit, you mesmerized by the white phone?
Right, right. I saw the one where she did on Beyonce, Super Bowl performance, the one she did on what's my man, Jesse Williams after BT awards, whatever. And I noticed she contradicts herself a lot, for one. But 2, people in the comments were saying that she's trying to parlay this into something on Fox News. Like, she's just trying to be as outlandish and controversial as possible.
I can see that.
And even though I'm not attracted to her, I won't say the lady's ugly. Like, I won't be like idiot's face.
You just don't want me to say you're mesmerized by the white people, because I'm going to say that.
You're not.
No, I get it. I can see why. You can see why people say that.
She knows what she's doing.
I think so too.
I think she knows what she's doing, but like, she's energizing her fan base. But I 100%, I feel like she energizing her fan base, but I 100% feel like she believes in the bullshit she's saying. Like when she says Black Panthers are the new KKK, she believes that shit. But my thing is, she's fucking dumb. So that's why I don't give as much credence to the shit, because I'm like, yo, you watching her, she's dumb, and her followers are dumb. Like Trevor Noah is not changing that. And like he even said, he's like, yo, to change her views, this shit ain't gonna happen overnight. No. It's gonna take time. He's like, but how can I change the views of her and her followers if I don't even have the conversation? He like, bringing her into my space, I have a chance to talk to her viewers, which I probably would never have a chance to talk to, because the people who watch her are never gonna watch him independent of watching them together.
You know what I liked about the interview, y'all? Real talk. I don't know if you guys agree, but I thought he was fair though too. Like, cause he was trying
his best to be fair, because he could have flamed their ass.
He was right. Like, he just was combating facts for facts. Well, non-facts for facts.
He kept saying, "Tell me exactly then, what can Colin Kaepernick do that would please you?" She kept skating by that question, and I didn't know if she didn't understand it. Or
no, she didn't have an answer. That's what I mean. Like
she's never been questioned.
She's never been questioned, so she don't have.
She just goes on her rant.
She goes on her rants, and she don't have her real shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So my thing is, even with all that, Tomi to me is still who she is.
Right.
But then because, and her rep is the same. Her rep ain't take no hit in regards to her viewers, because even some of her viewers you watch on Twitter, they thought she won the debate.
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah,
so that's what they believe. So that's what they believe.
Destroys.
Tomi Lahren destroys Trevor Noah.
On his own
show.
Well,
that's a point. That's what goes back to the first thing you said in the beginning: is you're gonna believe what you want to believe anyway.
Right. So my thing is, why would now his fan base take away who he is?
Right.
Like what? You know what I mean? Like,
go back to what you said with the election, D, when you said Democrats, like Republicans,
when I said
are going to vote for him no matter what, but Democrats divided,
more bipartisan.
And like I say, now look, like I say, her fans are still there, and they're more
empowered. Yeah.
Whereas we got his fans turning on him because he took her out and gave her damn cupcakes.
But he said I didn't take her. He said I didn't even. He said they even put it in there like, and he paid for the drinks. He's like, no, my people from my show paid for the drinks.
But even if he did though,
but I know that. But I know. But I'm saying like, but to spin shit a certain way when it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But and I don't like that they spin the shit this way, and then we fall for it. Like of course they gonna spin it that way. I get that. That's what they do. But we fall for it. That's the shit that I'm like.
Well, sometimes the media gets it right, and sometimes it gets it wrong.
Because the problem we have is that people are calling him a coon, and he hasn't changed his position at all.
At all. Do they know what coon means? That's what they need.
Well, I found out in 2016, coon mean whatever I don't agree with.
Yeah. That's another word.
That's what coon means.
Yeah, because cooning to me is like you dancing for the white man.
Yes.
And I have not seen him doing that at all.
Not even close.
Like in his interview, and the crazy thing is, who do we have in media as a black person that has been able to take more Republicans, racists, Democrats, and conservatives to task than Trevor Noah?
Yeah, he would probably. Right?
But he don't have a platform like that. Yeah, he don't have a platform like the Daily Show.
That's reaching out to white America.
Where he gets to talk about Donald Trump. And that's my thing. I'm like, so we gonna say fuck all of that because he said Tomi some cupcakes. Because if you watch his show every day, it's consistent.
Right. His
show is still consistent. And his show didn't change after Tomi got on the show. So now we gonna say fuck all that. He's into some cupcakes.
And you think cooning is dancing for the white man and like basically compromising yourself.
Well, I think in 2016 has been basically if I don't agree with you.
Well, no. That's right. That the new age.
Yeah. It's pretty much, if I don't agree with you, like right now, the fact that I'm not agreeing with people who are saying that he's a coon, then that makes me a coon.
A coon. Yeah. Remember, they were ready to throw LeBron on the coon train because he just said they were like, how dare him protect his sponsorship?
Yeah.
That's as much like he didn't say nothing like I didn't believe that Black Lives Matter. I don't believe, like he literally was like, I'm gonna take an approach that I feel like that. He just said what Kaepernick is choosing to do, I'm not gonna do. Like I don't. Like they would if you're not kneeling for the anthem and having a black glove on your right raised fist, you basically
listen. All these niggas that's going hard, all these niggas that's saying that shit. No, I want to see y'all walk off y'all fucking job tomorrow. I want to see all y'all kneel at y'all job tomorrow. When your boss tell you do some shit, kneel. Like I'm not doing that shit.
Right.
Kneel. If you feel like that about every person who does not do it, you should at least be doing that. Then. Okay. If you feel like everybody who ain't kneeling like Kaepernick who is cooning, when you go to work tomorrow and any white boss tell you kneel on their ass.
And part of the argument. Part of the argument is what Trevor is doing isn't all that effective in invading white people's space because we've been doing it for years and there hasn't been much progression. My thing is, it's better than nothing.
Right.
And the fact that he's still taking it on.
And again, he said his way is not the only way. He's not right. He said that's his approach.
Smart dude.
Yeah, but just like I could relate to Sam's experience with it. As a cop, I know I've had police officers walk up to me and like, hey, Miles, you know, you're like my first black friend.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like this is what I always believed. And I know that they had some big ways of thinking. And every now and then they would pop up and go, hey, hit me up. Hey, where you going to eat? Where you going to have lunch? Knowing what we're going to discuss. Most of the time we were discussing black and police issues, blah, blah, blah. But it was something that I felt like there was something they wanted to know more of. Because they kept on hitting me. I'm like, dude, we don't kick it off work. We don't kick it. But it was like, you know, I want to be around you. I want this dialogue because I know it's something that I'm missing. And anytime you have a white person, and I see this in her because to me, she could just deny everything. She could deny the dinner. She could deny all this shit. But anytime you see them kind of still want to be around, they grasping for some type of knowledge because they know something that they've been taught is off. And now, most, if not all of those dudes are like probably like the best officers as far as being comfortable and working in like
black community.
Yeah, but black.
So you have to start somewhere. I mean, you can't. You know, I think. Is a comment here that I actually. But is that the only way to deal with it? No.
Of course not.
But
It's a way.
But there's a reason why they wanted to segregate, because by segregation you could teach, you could say whatever you want, and it never could be checked.
Yeah.
It can't be proven wrong. They can say, you know,
black people got tails.
Remember I said that earlier. Black people got tails. Well, there's no way you can ever find out because there's no contact.
And that's the thing. You know, you have to start somewhere. And there was a comment in here. Something actually, nothing is actually better. I completely disagree. Because at what point do we just not do anything and then people just continue to think the way that they think and do what they want to do because we decide to sit
Well,
down and
ask
have a
whoever said
conversation.
that comment, how is nothing better? I need to know.
That's just what that is.
I'm not going to because I want to talk about I want to change the topic a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the recent jury verdict with the police shooting that.
You mean the non-verdict, the mistrial?
Non-verdict mistrial. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we got two of those things we got to discuss. Huh?
Walter Scott and Joe McKnight shit.
And the one did you hear about the one in Chicago?
That happened last week.
They didn't want the cop's name, but a young black man, he knew the cop's name, posted on Facebook, and he's getting backlash.
Yeah, the 19-year-old kid.
19-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah,
He
that's...
shot 2 unarmed black kids in Chicago. The cop don't want to release the cop's name, but the kid did already. And now he's getting backlash for doing that.
Well, this is my. Let me ask y'all something. Let me ask y'all something around this table. When are we gonna stop being surprised at America being racist? And this is very frustrating to me because I feel like the continuous outrage every time like a verdict or something. To me, I'm like, okay, in y'all mind, y'all had hope. Y'all still got hope. Mm-hmm. Y'all still got hope that this country is not racist. Y'all still grasping for that straw that they give a fuck about us. Stop grasping at that straw because when you finally stop grasping at that straw that they give a fuck about us, then you'll be able to move the way you're supposed to. Because right now, you still holding out hope, so you're not gonna go fucking ham. Like, you're not gonna really go ham because you like, justice is gonna prevail. Justice is gonna prevail. So like, why do we continue to like, I feel like we torturing ourselves now. I feel like black people are torturing themselves by like, oh, okay, the verdict is coming, and now you wait and you build up hope because you have hope that this country is not racist as we know it is.
Did you see the Walter Scott's mom and the video that she
pissed
put
me
up?
off?
That video just showed me how, and don't get me wrong, hey, love God, grew up in the church, but that video just showed me how conditioned we are. We are that basically. And don't get me wrong. If you're a Christian and you believe in Jesus Christ or whatnot, you know you're gonna follow His way. So pretty much, she was saying that she forgives him, and you know that she's not worried. She has joy, and you can't take the joy away. And pretty much, it was like it was almost like she was letting go. And in her walk with Christ, hey, I'm happy for her. But it still just shows the current condition of us black folks. Like, we always forgetting.
Well, my thing is, not just the show, not just with her walk. I'm getting on TV. Like, black people always getting on TV forgiving continues to show why they don't have to punish people who do shit to us.
Right.
Like, if y'all don't continuously say, I gave it to God and I forgive the killer, so then why do you want him convicted? Why should we want a conviction? Why should we want them to be punished? Why should we want justice if you feel like your God got it and God took care of it already? And that's my thing. And again, even if you do feel that way, don't fucking get on TV saying that shit. That's my thing. If you do feel like, oh, you know, Jesus is going to take care of you, that's cool. But don't get on TV talking about Jesus is going to take care of me. And, you know, somebody made a good point. They're like, you think that white officer that shot that black man don't serve the same Jesus that you do?
Right.
You don't think his white ass family is praying to the same Jesus you do?
I'm going to take a different approach on this. All those, I always hear black people figuring out ways to get out of jury duty. Yeah. This what happens.
I saw you post that.
I've seen just my years in the criminal justice system. I've seen black people come up with some of the most craziest things to get out of jury duty. We got to start. I mean, that's a duty, but as you can see, one person can affect a whole trial.
And that, to me, this...
One person got that dude off. Now, he ain't completely off because...
But for this point, he don't have to... Like, he's going to go to the jury.
It's going federal, right?
Actually, they're going to retry him, but Loretta Lynch actually filed federal charges.
Yeah,
right. They got a 90% conviction rate, so he might want to take it.
And I think that was so obvious. I think that's what, to address your point, Dame, about, people being surprised and having hope. I don't know if that's, I would necessarily say, I personally wouldn't necessarily say that. I think it's just to the point where things have gotten more and more and more and more clear and overt. Like, everybody's saying, it's been here, we've seen it. Yes, but now we see it like,
Trump got these motherfuckers bold.
That, and how many people, maybe people have seen it, but how many more now? Like, I didn't used to see black men get shot on video. I didn't used to see that. Coming up, I never saw that. Maybe other people saw it. Maybe they did, but I didn't. So now we're looking at a video. We're looking at where it's so clear and obvious, and you're like, wow. To me,
no, I get. But what I'm saying is, now if you think about it, we've been now looking at these videos for like 4 years.
Right. No. I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
And as we look at them, they've gotten progressively worse.
Yeah.
We've seen this. So I'm thinking it's okay. So they've gotten progressively worse. It's like, what more? How much more? To me, that guy, and in case you guys don't know, it was 6 white men, 5 white women, and a black man who was the foreman on the Walter Scott jury. It was one man who was the holdout. One. So if you got 11 other people to say, this dude is crazy, some of y'all need to remove him, we can clearly see what's going on. He's getting federal charges, but this one person didn't.
That's because the justice system is working the way it's supposed to.
There you go.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, because even, like, to your point, Quincy, even if they had 11 black people on that jury and they had that one fucking white man.
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing was going to happen. It's not even just us doing the duty. It's literally the policies. It's literally the laws. It's literally the way shit is done. But that is the problem.
I'll say this would be the difference though. If it was 11 juries now white, and Chandra could, because she saw me going through my trial. Jurors talk, and they were writing letters and snitching on one another's. One dude had told a juror that pretty much I was just playing a race card and looking for money. Another juror wrote a note to the judge and told the judge, and me ended up getting that juror removed. So a lot of times.
Oh, and don't forget about the black guy who was like, "Well, I understood what you were saying, but they just talked to me and told me."
I had one black juror.
And all you needed was one.
I only needed one juror, and he basically told me, because we talked to the jury, he said, yeah, well, he said, I was feeling you, but when I was in there, I was by myself, and,
those are the...
A brother from Watts, too. I took his Watts card. That's nigga from Hawthorne.
You can't change it.
That nigga from Hawthorne. But I'm just saying that when like things about that, because to me, I bet you that juror showed some said things and did things throughout that trial that probably them other jurors didn't tell.
Right.
Until the end, then they wanted them to get removed. But at that point, now
it's too late. But to me, I would have been like, what's going? Like for that to be so overwhelming, and for them to feel like something was going on with him, and this, I would have asked the alternates, like, okay, what do you guys?
Q.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question, bro. Like, so, well, I think what bothers me the most about the Walter Scott case is that the video, it's like. First of all, a lot of these, to me, it's very transparent, black and white. But for whatever little reason, they can manipulate it and say he was fearing for the video is so clear cut. Like the running away, shot not once.
Racism don't give a fuck.
But what the point I made, David, though, the juror who was hung, right, the one guy. I thought they were supposed to like try to be impartial, right? He said, looking at that video, I cannot, without reasonable doubt, say that the cop wasn't fearing for his life. But then in the same breath says, but I also can't go back to that family of Mr. Scott and say that he's not guilty.
Well, he's just saying that. You
Well,
can say whatever you want to say.
You
You can say whatever you want to say. You don't have to make sense.
This was a middle-aged white man that was racist that didn't want to throw a racist cop in jail. The fact
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't argue logic.
Yeah,
you can't argue.
There's no logic. There was no logic. there.
That's why it was 11-1.
Yeah.
Remember, you had
Yeah.
10 other white people that was saying he was guilty.
What did jury of your peers mean too? I
Well,
need to clarify what that means. Jury
well,
of your peers. What does that
It
mean?
means people supposed to mean people from your area.
Yeah, it's supposed to be people from your community, but that's never our case because we don't go to
Don't
jury
go to
duty.
And that's the point you make.
Start going to jury duty because, like I said, there's a lot of influence. Like my deal, I had one black jury, and he pretty much told me they punked him and made him change his mind. You put 5 other brothers in there, he probably stand,
So
I'm
you
not
got
changing
those
my
ones.
mind.
You got those ones that
Yeah.
are not paying attention, are not influential, are being easily
My
influenced.
heart really just go. It just really is sad, man.
Yeah. There's no logic to it.
Oh yeah, the fact that what you said, it
As far as the
makes
evidence,
sense.
I've yet, and normally I always got at least one cop that try to justify shit. Not one cop have justified that shooting. Not one police
It's not
officer I
justified.
know.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
justify that. There's no
Yeah.
logic behind it. Dude should be in prison.
Damn, I'm with you, bro. I'm at the point where I'm like that way, cause I usually live my life with no expectations, so I have no disappointment.
Right.
I'm with that now. Like I almost just.
Let me
I'm
tell
not
you when they
surprised
gonna
by
start
shit
doing
anymore,
something
bro.
about this shit. When every cop who's been got off with this shit, where every Zimmerman, when we start taking them motherfuckers out. That's the only thing that's gonna make them. I sad to say. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say it's the real shit because right now they have no fear of consequence for doing shit to us.
It's legal to kill black.
It's legal to kill black. We target practice. They have no fear of consequence. But I guarantee you, if somebody start like you see Zimmerman pop up gone,
Yeah.
you see the motherfucker who killed Mike Brown pop up gone. You start to see.
Walter Scott.
And like I ain't talking about any cop, I'm talking about specifically these
Absolutely.
motherfuckers.
No, that's right.
If you start to see them pop up going,
Absolutely.
then shit will
Yes.
change. I guarantee
Yes.
you, shit will change.
You can't kill a cop.
Who ready for that though?
You can't
Well, you know what?
That hard.
Well, Pookie and them shooting random dudes at the liquor store.
Right. So
Well, that's what I've been. I said to me, like, where are these hard niggas at when this shit? Like, why the fuck is Zimmerman still walking around Florida? It's too many first 48 niggas in Florida for Zimmerman still to be walking around.
That's probably why, because it's too many first 48. Niggas be telling. They get up in that room and the band get to playing, they get to singing, boy.
I'm with it, man. I'm sorry.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I feel like, and that's why I say I'm at the point where I'm like, hey yo, like, stop expecting the system to work for us. From the beginning of time, from the Constitution, literally was not written for us. The Star Spangled Banner was not written with us in mind. Constitution was not written with us in mind.
I'm gonna tell you something that was looked over in that trial. It was a black judge. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
yeah, because he sent them back.
And he tried.
Yeah.
I almost wish they went not guilty in a way, because I think he would have overturned it.
Yeah.
Because he could. It's rare, but he could. But he really tried, because he was sending. It was supposed to be a mistrial like a week prior, and he's like, no, y'all go back in. He really tried because he knew, but you know it was a mistrial, and of course they're gonna retry.
It's gonna be manslaughter now, not Quinn.
No, they can still. Ain't no damn
That can't be no
manslaughter on
manslaughter.
that. That was straight second degree murder.
Yeah, running away.
Hell, you could probably even go first degree murder because the plan, the evidence, all that shit was
He
premeditated.
tossed the damn tape.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like to me, the last three, this, Philando Castile, and the brother, I forgot the one who was
Baton Rouge in Louisiana.
selling CDs. Like the last three was so blatant and like so blatant in your face.
What had to do with the walking back to his car with hands up.
Yeah, dude walking back to his car with his hands out.
In Oklahoma.
Can
Yeah,
you swallow your food first?
like so we had like the last 3 or 4 have been really not justifiable.
Okay, now let's get to the other bullshit. Joe McKnight.
This motherfucker Joe
This
McKnight,
shit
like
had me heated, boy.
the sheriff literally tried the case on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
He tried the case in a press conference.
Yes.
And if the people don't say nothing about how tainted this shit is already, I mean, again, like I said, but that's expecting us us expecting the justice system to work the way it's supposed to.
All right, that's the first issue I have for a sheriff in a press conference say we had 2 people that acted badly that day. You just clearly tainted the jury because look, the only thing the jury need is beyond any reasonable doubt.
Right.
That was reasonable doubt. Like the burden of proof in a murder case is 99.9%. Like beyond it, like you killed this person beyond any reasonable doubt. You just told the jury that even the victim acted badly that day. You just gay. I mean, because if I'm dude's attorney, I'm bringing that up in court. I'm calling the sheriff like, hey sheriff, didn't you say that 2 people acted badly that day?
You got a witness, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because it's now public record.
Yeah. Like.
Oh, we also.
Hey. You know what? My opening statement to be, listen, jury. Even the sheriff said 2 people acted badly that day. You had 2 guys that was upset. It was an incident, but it wasn't just my client that acted badly. The sheriff even said that 2 people dude, that's the case.
That's all you need.
All right.
Because now all in their minds, they're like, okay, did he provoke him? There's so many questions. And we can't for sure say this guy did X, Y, Z.
And as far as the stand your ground deal, it's so bullshit because if you remember, the other case we had with stand your ground was Trevor Martin. They get the stand your ground moment was when Trayvon supposedly was smashing Zimmerman's head against the concrete. Even though Trayvon, when you look where he got shot, it was nothing but grass. But we're not gonna get on that. But that and then Zimmerman, while getting his head bashed into the ground, did a MacGyver move and took the gun out and shot Trayvon. That was the stand your ground moment. They still haven't given us what threat or what did Joe McKnight do to pose a threat to this guy's life?
When he's still in his car.
Yeah, but and also check this out. They said
he got out of his car and approached.
Okay. They said he got out. If you look at the I don't know how TMZ got it, but they got a shot of the dude right after he shot him, and you can see Joe McKnight car. The door is still open. The driver's door is still open. Joe McKnight is laying in between the cars. So that eliminates that he tried to get in the car because he's on the passenger side. That's why they still haven't given us any reason. What was the threat that Joe McKnight posed? Because according to Stand Your Ground, you have to feel that your life is threatened. Like I said, George Zimmerman, his head supposedly was supposed to have been smashed against the ground. They haven't given us nothing. This was a clearly second-degree murder deal. This guy has a history of road rage. And I'm like, for a sheriff to pretty much become a fucking defense attorney in a press conference, like it.
And even reading the emails and the texts and the tweets from other people talking about the black people on the case, and he talking about, you know, using the word nigga and cussing and all that shit. Like, again,
that was just an emotional rant. He wanted to get out what he wanted to say the N-word, call all of us niggas.
Wait, no, why they say that the suspect he allegedly said called him?
No. The sheriff was like, y'all gonna talk shit about my officers and say shit like, you got that nigga back there standing with them. Yeah, he read tweets about the officers. Shit that don't really have nothing to do with the case. But like,
that's him saying, getting out everything he wanted to say encoded in his coded language.
Have absolutely. I mean, because Cordell Hayes, who shot Will Smith, was charged second-degree murder and arrested right there at the scene.
And it was the exact same thing. He stayed he had his gun. He stayed, waited for the cops. It was like there's literally no difference except it was a black man and a white man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
that's a big difference.
And
clearly,
yeah. And for the sheriff, well, this is not about race. Then tell me why is there a difference? Because
it's a very adequate comparison.
But it's the same city and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the same city.
You can't. Hey, you can't.
This is outrageous.
You can't tell me if Joe McKnight would have shot that guy, he wouldn't have got arrested that day. Can no one? Can't.
Yeah.
And see, for them, to me, to go manslaughter, that to me, even that was like still painting Joe McKnight as a victim. Oh, this was a heated passion type of thing. It's like we just can't be victims.
Yeah.
Even when we're victims, we still.
It's our fault somehow.
It's still our fault somehow, and that's bullshit. It was complete bullshit. But you know, what you expect? Louisiana, they blame Obama for Katrina, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize it was. I mean, it was outrageous regardless, but
yeah, but no,
it just stopped the scale
yeah.
that it's the same city. Because we didn't see him come out in a press conference with the other situation.
Of course not.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Because they got him, they arrested him.
Look, I knew something was up. In his very first press conference, he attacked protesters and demonstrators. I was like, oh, here, it's about to get like your very first press conference is not about like, okay, we still got an ongoing investigation. Because it's an open investigation, I don't want to give you guys all the facts. We still haven't interviewed all the witnesses, blah, blah, blah. The first thing he said, if you think you're going to tear up our city, and you're not protesting, and you know, you guys not protesting in a right manner or whatever, you will go to jail. Like, dude, that's how you open this shit up?
Like,
right there.
Protesting?
Yeah, nobody having any protesting.
He was saying that because he knows what's coming in the future because he knows the bullshit is coming.
Yeah.
You know, that was a setup.
He's so, he reminds me
that's
of...
so Raven.
He reminds
Saw it.
He reminds me of his what do you call it? Reminds me his emotional press conference like gave me some foreshadowing into like how Trump would be like with his tweets and stuff.
Oh yeah,
he'd probably be so emotional with the press conferences.
Trump don't give a fuck, man.
He's so like
zero
out of control.
He could fuck this country up.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sit back and laugh. Like, well, that's what y'all wanted.
Yeah.
Here you go. Take it. Trump is about to sell this country off to the highest bidder. You motherfuckers don't even see.
He
The
started
McMahon thing.
paperwork.
He got the
Well, look, he got Linda McMahon, but I will say in her defense, because everybody like goes Linda McMahon. I'm like, she was actually the senator though. Like to me, she got more. She got more. She got more.
Just making sure.
She got more fucking experience in the actual Senate in law than a lot of the people in this cabinet.
Hey, all right,
Just making sure.
When he make the Undertaker the Secretary of Defense.
Like, is this a joke? Like, you were like the Undertaker is the Secretary of Defense. Like,
I'm saying the Stone Cold the stuff Putin and shit.
I would take Stone Cold in the cabinet.
Get on my nerves.
Stone Cold should be the press secretary.
Oh, that would be
He
hilarious.
should be the press secretary.
No.
We're gonna come out there, this some bitch Donald Trump will come out here. I would take it.
No.
Beers, I would take it.
Trying to when you hear that glass, that's your ass.
I would take it. But yeah, and speaking of Trump, I've been watching him put together his cabinet.
Oh my God.
It's funny because everybody was talking about Hillary Clinton as a warmonger, and he got 3 5-star generals in his cabinet already, which tells you he's expecting war. You wouldn't put 3 generals in your cabinet if you wasn't expecting war. Ben Carson is gonna be in charge of you niggas' hood houses. So watch out for that shit.
Oh my God.
So be on the lookout for what he got coming for y'all asses. And
Man, that's some BS.
You got the most unqualified person for the position, and he just his happy ass. Just
let me tell you what's
like that.
awesome to me.
Oh my God.
When they first offered him the position, he said, "I don't have enough experience to take this position."
Right.
And then he took it.
Then,
That's
yes,
fucking awesome.
right. And then
Well, you know what? The fact that he
You'll
said
learn
he
as
didn't
you go.
have, how about the fact that he said he didn't have enough
But you ran for
experience
president.
in general, but you wanted to be president. So that means you should have experience for all that stuff.
Wait, and he had more trepidation about being the Secretary of HUD than he did
Right.
for being a fucking
Right.
president.
What?
Fuck with that philosophy.
Right.
You didn't feel like I don't know if I could take a job in the cabinet because I don't have no experience. But I could do the president.
Wait a minute, no. As a matter of fact, I thought they were offering him like education or something. Something that he had more
probably was
experience
he probably I need something easier.
he turned down the first position.
Okay, so it was education.
Yeah.
He turned down.
The fact that Ben Carson was a
What are you
brain,
doing there, Brandon? What are you doing?
Right now, you're making sure Trump can't take his money out. He can pull his money out. Like, did they come get Did they already?
Who's the Secretary of the Bank?
the fact Ben Carson was a brain surgeon is
Treasure.
scary as shit.
Well, I think Ben Carson
No,
is
he
one of those.
operated on children's brains.
Well, I think Ben Carson is one of those dudes who's extremely intelligent.
better.
No, I think he's book smart. Like, I think he wouldn't do book smart, but had the most awkward social skills.
Let me tell y'all about Ben Carson.
You read his book, right?
I met him when I was younger.
Really?
Yes. He was black at the time. He came from like
Fucking
the
joke.
project.
Shit's getting
He
around.
came from like a single mom household. They were on welfare with him and his brother. He had very bad anger management issues. He stabbed
He
one of
stabbed his
friends,
homeboy.
Well, in a belt. Like he stabbed him in the belt. So then after that, he knew he had anger management issues. He ran to the bathroom. He prayed. And he was now Ben Carson. No one would know. Like,
Not Benjamin.
he wasn't Benjamin anymore.
I need Benjamin. It's all about
We need Benjamin. So yeah, he was black at the time. So now I don't know what happened, but he's Jehovah's Witness. I don't know if that makes him a little bit more conservative. I'm not sure about how Jehovah's Witnesses are. If any of you guys know, but yeah,
That's cool though that you met.
He went to Yale, yeah, because he wrote a book, and I went to a medical magnet. So he was a brain surgeon, he really for real in real life, and he wrote a couple books, but this one was about overcoming dyslexia. He had dyslexia. He was a horrible student.
So if he wasn't like so whack, he would have been awesome.
Oh, exactly it. If he was still black, he would be awesome.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? Was it that thing he married?
Wow.
That thing.
Damn.
Kenny was
savage. Cute savage.
Jesus.
Kenny didn't used to look like that. Cause there was
What's her name?
Kenny.
That's what I'm saying.
Andy Carson.
Hey,
You ain't gonna tell me she ain't got a porno somewhere around here.
No, she don't. Have you seen her now?
Yeah,
What she look like?
Nigga, sweet and
She like
sour.
Wendy Williams' cousin.
I can't with y'all,
You
man.
are a fool.
Hey, you know she look like, you remember that purple thing at Chuck E. Cheese they used to be singing?
Oh, come on, man.
No, we're not gonna do any of this. But yeah, he was a very he was doing like
Yes.
he was breaking records. He was doing all kinds of like historical surgeries.
His name is Lunch. The purple dude from Chuck E. Cheese.
Actually,
name
now
is
that I'm
Lunch.
thinking about it,
Can't eat much.
kind
She does look like Munch. She does look like Munch.
Yeah.
but she like yeah, she was already she was stressed out from there. Like, I don't know.
Let me ask you. Looked her up?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
You looking at her?
I just no.
So yeah, they,
Munch.
to answer your question, if he
If he would have stayed black, he actually would have been quite awesome.
He would have been somebody who you'd be like, dude, like he came from like humble beginnings, and now he's a brain surgeon. He overcame dyslexia. He was the worst student in his class. He went to Yale. He did all these things like on scholarship.
Listen, fuck Ben Carson.
Okay.
He was on his way.
Let's talk about some frivolous shit right now.
Okay.
The Kardashians are trying to block Black China from using the name Angela Kardashian because they feel like it would hurt their brand. Let me get y'all thoughts.
What's she gonna do? Have a sex tape?
She already
I don't think
does.
there's
She already
okay,
does.
Let's break down the
Yeah, yeah.
Kardashians. There's sex tapes. They've turned people crazy. They've turned people into drug addicts.
Fake
They've
weddings, don't
ruined-
forget that.
Fake weddings. They've ruined people's lives.
Turn them all into a crackhead.
Continuous
Back on
Back on crack.
Hey,
There's different sex now.
They changed, had a whole Olympic athlete change his whole entire sex, gender, whatever. I can't even tell you what he did. I mean, just it's a multitude of things. There is not one thing that she can do that can tarnish their name. Not one.
well, cause they so talented.
Talented in what?
Okay, what's y'all thoughts? Sam and B? Okay.
So,
That's how I feel about it.
So just to clarify, so Black China wants to change her name to
And
She want to trademark. She's getting married, so she's gonna be.
So she's gonna
But she
be
want to
Angela-
trademark Angela
Angela
Kardashian
Kardashian.
so she could trade on it.
she wants to trade.
She want to be in social media. all
And they
that.
don't want her to do it because it will hurt their brand.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll tarnish their
Oh my
reputation.
god, I hate
Well,
that.
that's, I mean, if you look at the word nonsensical in the dictionary, that this story in that situation will be right there as an example, because that makes no sense at all.
Well, some people have argued
What are
that,
they arguing? What are they arguing?
that the Kardashians been famous. They didn't get famous because of the sex tape. They was kind of famous because of O.J. Simpson. I'm not making
No,
this shit
Kim
up.
Kardashian. No, she was not. Well, no, nobody knew who Kim Kardashian was before Ray J fucked her on the beach and had the sex tape come out.
It was on the beach?
No, it was in a
The
hotel.
hotel room.
Where?
what brand do you got? You
Wasn't they on the
got
video? They was
He-
like, what
he got that exclusive.
and he got part two.
He got that
It was a
exclusive.
long-
He got the industry tape.
Right.
So I I mean, at the end of the day, look, I will not be one of those ones that will deny that the Kardashians have made a name for themselves. However, they made a name for themselves. But to try and block someone, for one, change it, like her name's gonna be, she's gonna be a Kardashian anyway.
Yeah.
And to try to block her from trademarking that, like it's almost like I watch my boy does Matthew, right? And he says some of the bullshit that comes to his courtroom, like the people that come in and sue over like the dumbest shit, is like this would fit in that. Like,
right?
Why?
Well, this is my thing. One, she's gonna be Angela Kardashian regardless of what y'all do. She has a child, so she's gonna benefit from the name.
Right.
Period.
And
either way.
Always gonna be. She's not gonna.
But she was famous pre-Kardashian.
Yeah.
She already had her own brand. She already had her own stuff.
Now being like, what did Black kind of do? But I didn't know.
She was a famous stripper. She was Amber Rose's best
She was
friend.
a
All these people who don't really do shit. That's what I'm saying. She pretty much was the she was like the bootleg Kardashian. Her and Amber Rose was like
I like
they was like the hood Kardashian.
It seems like they're getting a little bit of their own medicine, a little bit.
Yeah.
They're getting a little taste of what they do.
Yeah, like y'all mad because somebody gonna leash off y'all fame.
Right.
Interesting.
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 Wow, that's actually a good point right there.
Man. I day one though, I ain't gonna lie.
And Phil Jackson came out today. Did anybody get to hear Phil Jackson's comments on the LeBron James situation?
Wait, what?
I didn't. I already knew how
Yeah,
Phil was
like,
gonna respond.
Can we see BG?
Hey, you know what? We need to start
To
tagging.
be fair, man,
We need to start tagging you and
Was all
shit.
this stuff discussed today? All this stuff?
Yeah, today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I don't know. I didn't start at 8 in the morning. I didn't go on to like 4:30.
But we've been talking about shit all for the past week.
Q! I said Q. I didn't get. I had a long day. So get off.
You had a long day or a long week?
Long week.
Okay.
Day and week.
Today is Wednesday.
I happen to miss every single subject that y'all talking about.
No, it's been 10 minutes update.
No, but it's crazy. I damn near saw you like what 2-3 times this whole week.
Yeah.
I don't know how I really
You
don't know.
want to talk about that stuff?
A little bit. We talked about the Walter Scott stuff.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, Phil.
Okay, so Phil Jackson said pretty much. I mean, I've been to the film good for it.
Right.
But
I told you that. I didn't even have.
I said Phil said he don't need to talk about it with LeBron. He also said, well, maybe I should have used a different word. He like because I didn't know. This pissed me off because he feels on some bullshit. I didn't know what connotation came with that word. Yes, you did.
That was smart ass.
Yeah, it was like first of all, Phil, you smart as fuck, and you been getting that niggas through. They running from a moth like it's a goddamn tarantula.
I thought you killed.
No, not you, Chandra ass. What the fuck was that noise you just made?
I don't know, I was scared.
Repeat it.
You're great.
They gonna try to take this out.
I just saw him too. I got excited when it was crazy.
Okay, so Phil said I didn't know there was a connotation with the word bullshit.
Oh well.
And then two, we know Phil gets at niggas through the media.
Right.
He had like if anybody he's slick. He talks slick about his own players. He talks slick about Kobe in the media. He would talk slick about Shaq in the media and Lamar. So he knew he was getting at LeBron when he said that.
I think that he knew he was giving him a dig. Sure.
Absolutely.
He for sure knew he was giving him a dig. I'm very surprised he actually came out and said something.
Why don't people understand this about Phil? Phil is no different than any of us in our biasness in our sports guys. Phil, just like we get in our sports groups and we debate, the Kobe's and Jordan Shaq. Who are the two people that folks constantly argue that LeBron is better?
Kobe and Shaq. I mean Kobe and Jordan.
Phil guys.
But what was the question again?
I said the person that folks constantly debating that's better. That LeBron is better than Kobe and Jordan. Those are Phil guys. So he has his biases and his favoritism, and he's been throwing digs at LeBron
For a long time.
Yeah. And because
Well, that's what kind of pissed me off though was that we know he been throwing digs for a long time, and people was coming to field defense like that's not what he was doing. That was pissing me off. I'm like, but we know this is what.
Or
Phil
the
does.
opposite. They've been throwing digs for so long. Why y'all even surprised? Like we don't not necessarily even come to maybe come to his defense, but
my only issue was people calling him a racist. I didn't think it was a racist comment.
I never said I thought it was a racist comment.
I
know some people did, but I said I don't think it was a racist comment, but I think it was an absolute 100% disrespectful dig.
I remember somebody, I can't remember, was it, who said it? They said, if you don't see why, you know, it's obvious that this was a racist comment. I forgot who said it.
I remember.
It was one of that. I'm like, no, that's not a racist comment. You can say it was disrespectful.
Yeah, it was disrespectful.
But it wasn't a racist comment. Yeah. And I think that was my only thing with it. Like, we can't, look, you can say, look, I have a problem with it, but don't make it racist.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to explain to people. I was like, I'm not saying that it's racist, but I do have a problem with the language. In regards,
yeah, you explained it very well.
Yeah, I do have a problem with it. Like, and you know what's funny? Ramona Shelburne made a great point because you know how everybody retort to that was, well, Maverick is part of LeBron posse. If LeBron wouldn't have put him on, he wouldn't have been who he is. Woo, woo, woo. But the retort was, Doug Collins hired Phil Jackson because that was his homeboy. That was his friend. Nobody has ever referred to Doug Collins. Doug Collins. Really? Yeah, Doug Collins hired him as a coach in the NBA first.
Well, yeah, he was an assistant on the Bulls.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so they said Doug Collins hired him because that was his homeboy. Same thing. They said, but Phil Jackson has never been referred to as part of Doug Collins' posse. He has never been referred to as anything less than a coach or an assistant coach, his actual position. And Ramona Shelburne was saying, if you got somebody like LeBron who does every single thing he can to uplift African American people, like to the point where she was like, we get sent cupcakes once a year. The whole press gets sent cupcakes once a year from LeBron James and his foundation, and he makes sure it's from a black-owned cupcake place the same black-owned cupcake place in Cleveland.
Well, who outed that? I didn't know that.
Ramona Shelburne.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so she was like, so the fact that you know, and again, she said, and Phil knows this, how hard he worked to try to change the perception of black people. So when Phil said this, it's absolutely a dig. She's like, is it racist? No, but it's absolutely disrespectful. And I didn't like the amount of black people that thought we shouldn't take Phil to task just because he won us championships. I didn't like that.
And he got black friends type of
Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm like, we should be able to take anybody, or they say like we being too sensitive. I'm like, in this the day and time, call me fucking sensitive. I'm calling all that shit out.
If anything, we should do it more when it's
absolutely
people that I guess quote unquote we've accepted as amongst our people, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you brought that up too. Dan, that's the problem with stuff now. It's like we want to give certain people a pass.
Yeah.
And like what kind of like Quincy said, it's like as soon as though someone doesn't agree but it's like picking and choosing your battles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was something, like, LeBron was right to say something, dude.
I mean,
I don't care. Bill is a legend and all that, but he was right to say, bro, when you're referring to my guys, don't call it, they're not my posse. Because that does marginalize them.
Absolutely, 100%.
And the way you said, like, it was so eloquent. Then when we were talking about it, you were like you broke it down, bro. And you were like, yeah, no, let me first off by saying, you were like, he feels not a racist, but bro, like when white folks say certain things, they know it.
Absolutely.
It happened to me. As a point, happened to me in Vegas, right? I'm at the craps table, right? Now look, I have a thing about when I cash my chips out, I count my chips first to make sure I know how much I should be getting back paper-wise, right? So I do it in front of a white dealer at the table, and he goes, "Oh, come on, homie. You can trust white. You can trust the white guy."
Yeah, is he racist? Is he racist? Probably not. But that shit don't do that.
Homie.
Because if you don't talk like that to everybody, that's that coded, like Chan was saying, that's that code switching bullshit. Like that's that coded language.
And I told him, I said, bro, you could be the blackest black dude in the casino, and it's not that I don't trust you. Is that I don't trust anybody when it comes to I would have done it if you were black, bro. So to say that, but he thought it was funny though.
Let's go to homie shit. That's the bullshit. Yeah.
Going to homie part in it.
And that's the part that I have a problem with. And that's the shit that you gotta check.
You gotta check.
That's the shit you gotta check. And I feel like with Phil Jackson throwing the posse shit in there, that's the same thing he did. He did the whole, oh, okay, homie. Cause I'm like, Phil Jackson don't use posse in his regular everyday life. Phil Jackson don't be like, yo, me and my posse about to go fishing in Montana. He's not gonna say that shit. So if
wait, how do y'all know though? I'm just curious.
I'm sure we probably heard him say. Well, first of all, he barely uses slang. He's so fucking smart. Like, do you ever hear Phil Jackson slang at any time?
Well, Phil was a hippie.
He was a hippie, but have you heard him use slang at any time?
Well, I've never had a conversation
Never.
I'm with you, Danny.
So he's never said the word posse. Like, you can guarantee that.
I didn't say, I said, do you hear Phil use slang out of all the press conferences for 20 years? Have you ever heard him use slang?
He can't randomly say posse? Like, he can't use like his
I didn't say that. I said, have you heard him as a person who uses
No,
slang?
I haven't. But I haven't heard him. But that doesn't mean, like, one day he can just choose to use a word that he doesn't normally use. Like, he can do that. It's America.
He can. But then don't use it when you talk about black people if you don't use it all the time.
But see, the thing about it, though, thing about that is, I wouldn't get offended. If somebody like, oh, here come Quincy and his posse, I
would you get offended?
Absolutely. I would get offended if you don't talk like that. If you don't talk like that all the time, I would. If somebody who I know say posse all the time say, here come Damon this posse, I wouldn't give a shit. But if some white dude who doesn't speak slang normally says, here come Damon his posse, yes, I'm fucking offended.
With that platform.
Come on, homie. You can trust me. You can trust the white guy. When he said, come on, homie. Like,
no. Did he make those movements too?
You said you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't.
No.
You wait. So you would take that like, oh, he talks, he just.
Fuck him. I mean, look, dude, I don't.
You wouldn't check him out. You wouldn't call him out.
I mean, people do it all the time because I was telling Chandler, like, almost every time we ask somebody in Uber, what type of music you want to listen to, what they always say.
They always say rap.
Rap. It'd be like
a
52-year-old white man.
You don't listen to rap. Or they'll try to like sing along to the rap songs on the radio. And we don't even listen to that stuff.
I know.
So it's like, dude.
It's going out of your way.
But that's going out of your way to assimilate into whatever you feel like our culture is.
You thought he wasn't being a smart ass. You don't think
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the crap.
The crap dealer who said, homie.
Oh, homie. I don't know. I thought we were talking about the rap.
No, but I'm saying that's what the story you saying. Come on, homie.
I mean, if you look, this is how I feel. If it's something that offended you, it offended you.
Yeah.
Just like anything else, there's some things that are not.
You're not wrong with being offended.
Yeah, you're not wrong with being offended, and neither was LeBron. He wasn't wrong if he felt that was offended. Just like I.
Y'all cooning.
You need to sit out of being offended. No, he wasn't wrong for being offended. Just like y'all not wrong for saying y'all would be offended or whatever. Just like I'm not. If I don't feel like it was necessarily. I feel like it was a dig. I don't feel like it was a racist dig, but it's just a difference of opinion.
It's one of those different things.
Well, see, it's one of those things where, like, historically, this is the first time I ever heard posse like being offended, an offensive, a derogatory term, in like 38 years of life. Now, if there was like some history connected to the word,
well, there was history connected to the word though for Phil.
Oh yeah, y'all think he said
it was history connected to the word, and this is why I was offended. It was history to the word because Phil said the posses go get niggas cars and bitches, they get cars and girls. If that's not minimalizing these men, tell me what it is. You literally.
Because he compared this group of men to that group of men.
No, he was talking about LeBron the first time. When he was 19. Right.
I get it. So he's comparing them to the guys that go get his girls and women, and then he's comparing these to his management and all these.
Exactly. So that's why I was offended, because I'm like, he did give, like, it'd be different if the definition was the actual definition. But he gave his own connotation to it when he said, this is what posse means to me. It's the dudes who go get the girls and go get the cars and leech off of the players. Well, that was his definition. So if that's his definition, why would I not believe him in his own definition when he says it again about LeBron, and then LeBron's like, bro, they don't just go get my cars and my girls. Like, that's diminishing everything about them and everything we work for.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously we addressed this before when it first happened, and now we're talking about what Phil said. He came out and said, like, I think he said whatever. I didn't think it was a shit, but then I think he did like another dig. Like, didn't he do like another local dig?
Yeah, he took another one.
Yeah.
He doesn't like LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did another dig.
And
Which
it's
is Phil.
just Phil.
Yeah.
Expected.
He took it, even in his non-apology,
Even in his
he
non-apology,
took a
he said
dig.
it did.
Yeah, even in non-apology, and that, like I said, my thing was, I'm calling people to task on all of this shit, because I'm not letting no more shit slip through the cracks,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's how you got these Trump supporters feeling bold, because we've been quiet.
Right.
Let motherfuckers ride with
Right,
the bullshit.
right.
Like, oh, we're gonna let that little shit slide. I'm like I said, because everybody said, because even Quincy said, but somebody else on the sports group said, they like, I've never heard posse been using a negative. I'm like, it wasn't until he fucking made it negative. He did it himself. He said himself, this is what a posse is to me. So now it's negative in his world. So that means when he says it, that's what he means.
But I will say this, and I told you this before. I went to a Laker game and we got into a debate with LeBron's squad. And all the motherfuckers in that crew was not agents.
I'm not saying all of them not agents, but I know Maverick is. I know what Maverick. I know his main guys. I know what they do. I know the guys that Phil was talking about in this situation. I know the guys Phil was talking about. That's what they do. You talking about Maverick and Rich Paul, because that's who was on the plane with him.
The guy who brokered deals for him.
Yeah. You talking about Maverick and Rich Paul, who like, and because somebody said, well, LeBron just empowered his boys, and they empowered his boys. That's the easiest job in the world. And I'm like, no, because a lot of people, how many basketball players have got on and tried to bring their homeboys on in one form or another?
Oh, they all roll deep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They all roll with like. I mean, I think. Matter of fact, Kevin Durant was just talking about how he had his crew and Russell Westbrook had his crew, and they like. Yeah. They like stayed away from one another.
So how many of them turn into Maverick and Rich Paul? Out of all the basketball players in the NBA, out of all how many of them niggas that made the NBA change the whole CBA?
That's probably why Phil doesn't like him.
Right.
Right. I mean, he probably liked how the old. I mean, LeBron has changed a lot how the NBA operates.
Yeah.
And, as far as from the time he joined two other stars in their prime, he changed the NBA, and a lot of the old timers
don't like that shit.
And so, it's one of tell you the truth, if you look at a lot of LeBron critics, most of them are old school basketball players.
Yeah.
They I'm gonna never join Magic, and Jordan said I'm gonna never join Magic and Bird in my prime. So a lot of the old timers really don't like dude because he has changed. I mean, he made it where the players have more power.
Absolutely.
And they don't like that because now that the players have more power, and LeBron was like, hell, Cleveland had the first pick in the draft. They draft Wiggins. LeBron like, give me Kevin Love.
What really fucked them up is not even on that. Cause look, let's be honest. This ain't the first time that they did a power team. And Miami wasn't the first time. They did it with Boston when Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett went to join Paul Pierce. They even did it with the Lakers when they got a washed up Karl Malone, but Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaq. They tried to put their super team together. They did it in Houston with Charles Barkley and all those guys. Exactly. The difference is when LeBron was doing a 1-year contract.
The difference was the first time LeBron was the first time that 3 stars in their prime at the same time.
And their prime. Barkley and Karl Malone and them was
done. Ray Allen, because Ray Allen was just coming from. You can argue that.
But
they didn't win a championship the first.
Absolutely.
Not together.
But I'm saying
you can argue that.
Look, most NBA analysts would tell you LeBron is the best GM in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he's pretty much he's the most powerful person in the NBA.
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So once, let's go back to Dan Gilbert's
letter.
Slave master Gilbert.
That was pretty much like, nigga, who you think you are doing this to me type of deal. So, like I said, LeBron changed the game in a sense. He has given the players so much power, and he is the most powerful person in the NBA. So you got all these old timers giving him all the backlash because
they couldn't do that shit.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that.
Sam, you think it was the 2-year contract with the 1-year option every single year?
Absolutely, because he kind of made bought the franchise tag to the NBA
every year.
Right.
Yeah. But Brandon, what LeBron was doing is, okay, you signed me this 1 year. Because you know what he was doing? If you don't do what I want you to do next
I'm
summer,
leaving.
I can leave. I'll bounce.
Yeah.
So each year, I'm holding your feet to the fire.
Yeah.
No player has ever done that. And then what ended up happening? Pat Riley got bitter.
Yeah.
You know, and then Pat Riley, I think, took that out on Dwayne Wade.
Right.
And D-Wade was like, look, dude, I've been loyal. I've been here. You treat me like this. Look, I'm not LeBron.
Right.
So more players starting to realize.
Because Kevin Durant did the same kind of LeBron deal now.
Exactly.
Go to state.
Exactly.
I think Kevin Durant on
A 1-1.
a 1-1 because that gives them power. Because pretty much, look, I could bounce. And see, it was a lot easier when players were doing them 5 and 7 year deals. So you know what? You're not going nowhere for the next 5 or 7 years. But if Golden State don't do what KD wants, he can leave next summer.
Right.
And the potential to earn. See, KD got, he got black. It was like, well, he's turning down so much money. No. What he's doing is he's gonna have the opportunity to make way more money than that contract.
I think Steph Curry gonna be almost close to $200 million.
Yeah, because now you could, like, the way Durant contract is set up,
Right.
if you don't do a long term way is, you can just get a big ass bulk every year. Like,
Right.
I need $40 million this year.
Well, did y'all hear
I need to hit the cap this year. I need, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
Well,
you do
did y'all
that
hear
for 4
about
years.
I don't know if you guys follow baseball, but from the Washington Nationals, he's like one of the best players in the league. Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
They said his deal is about to change sports, especially baseball, of course. But he's about to get something in the neighborhood of $400 million. I don't know how long.
The Nationals said hell no. The Nationals like now somebody who can't threat that is what's he calling on the Angels?
Mike Trout is the best. He's the best player.
Mike Trout, no, you're right.
He's the best player.
And it's only going to come from either two teams, either the Yankees or the Dodgers.
Right.
Going to be able to do that. But
So do you think? Okay, so back to the point. So now, do you think it's a good thing? Because I know a lot of people don't like LeBron for their own personal basketball reasons. But do you think the way he's kind of changed the game is now a good thing for
I think
young
it's a
black
great
men?
thing.
I think. Look, I'm a traditionalist, and of course, I grew up in an era where Magic, and Bird, and Jordan. You stay with one team, but I also understand that the league changes, eras changes, and I always tell people that the Kobe's, the Tim Duncans, the KG. That was the end of an era.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the end of an era. I'm willing to bet we will not see another player play 20 years for one team ever again.
Right.
Not in our lifetime. And so what LeBron did, I think from a player's perspective, even though like I'm a traditionalist, I want players to stay on, but I get it because you know what, man. Their careers is only so long.
Well, you know what I like about it?
And how many players you see going broke? So he's branding himself. He's milking this thing as much as he can, and he should because you know what? They milking the hell out.
I'm gonna say that's the thing I like about it. What I like about it is now, like, cause everybody wants you to be so loyal to your team, but like the owners ain't loyal to these players.
No.
The owners will get rid of your ass. Like, you could be loyal to a team. You could be. Like, Vince Carter should have retired as a Toronto Raptor, right? But he had got out his prime, he got a little injured, boom, he had to go. And if he hadn't been injured and he would have left Toronto, he would have got backlash. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
well, let's go back to Brandon's point with Karl Malone. Karl Malone was on the Jazz since 1986. And then once he got old,
that was it.
They said
deuces.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
they weren't gonna pay him.
That's right.
Utah was not going to pay him. They pretty much said, okay,
peace.
All right, peace.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As loyal as he was,
what else we got saved? I know we had some other stuff to talk about that we had saved.
Oh, that we just not gonna segue? We just gonna get
No, we ain't gonna segue.
So speaking of negotiating, we have this article, the top 10 non-negotiable worst voices in R&B history.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm behind the camera.
outrageous. I couldn't take.
Let's go one by one. Let's start with number
It
10.
was whack. The list was whack.
Let's start
Okay,
with
number 10, Janet Jackson.
Absolutely belongs on the list. Janet Jackson
Come on, D.
Now listen, this is the cold
You
shit.
talking about Penny? You know that, right?
No, we talking about Janet. Penny can sing. Janet can't. No, and I say that because, and I'm telling somebody this. I said if you go listen to Janet's album Young Love, she was blown, like really singing her ass off. And then even on the first album that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did on Control, she was really singing.
I do kind of defer to you on this, man, because you the music.
She was singing. After that, for some reason, when she got to Anytime, Anyplace, she got on this half whisper, half talk shit on every song. Yeah, you like it, but vocally. We talking about vocally.
They said she made good songs. You're right. The article actually broke it down.
Yeah, like she got dumb bomb songs, like right. But vocally, I haven't heard Janet sing in about 20 years. Like vocally, like to sing a note. I heard her whispering it. That's everything. That's every song. But she got the jams. But vocally, I haven't heard her sing since Control.
That's actually what they said. And they said that she sounded like she was living in a coffin.
Wow, damn.
I don't agree with everything.
This article was hilarious.
I don't agree.
And by the way, people. And by the way, we talk about pure vocals.
Yeah.
Not the other entertaining aspect.
Yeah, we talking about the straight vocals.
But it was some that I was just like.
All right, number 9, the current KC.
Nigga.
Leave it over there. That's it.
Nigga, Uncle KC.
Next.
Look at this what they said. They said, don't lie. In all of the deaths in 2016, you totally expected him to be one.
You kind of did.
Hey, that's
your voice on
Hey, did you see on Monday on Sometime?
No, I missed it. I missed it on Sunday.
This is your voice on drugs. Any questions? Okay, number 8 was outrageous.
Uh-oh.
All of New Edition,
No, that's whack.
except for Johnny.
Nah, bullshit.
That's whack. Yeah.
That's the one I didn't agree with.
Y'all
I laughed
do
at.
it.
What?
I laughed the
That's
whole
the one I
time.
didn't agree
He said, yeah, I said it, fight me.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's
When you make a statement like that, you gotta say that.
He said, or she, I think it was a girl. She said, only when Johnny Gill was there. Before Johnny Gill, there was a black Menudo.
No.
No.
Ralph could sing.
No. Bobby can fucking sing.
Bobby-
People forget.
Bobby-
People forget how good Bob was.
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend, don't be cruel. No, even in solo shit, but
The
you listen
king
to
of
Don't Be
R&B.
Cruel. Like Bobby could sing.
The king of R&B.
Tenderoni, like Bobby can sing.
Yeah.
People don't remember like post Whitney Bobby. So they don't remember at one point Bobby was one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Bobby was Usher. Bobby was Usher.
He could dance. He was an
Yeah,
entertainer.
but I'm talking about even vocally, Bobby was Usher.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, I can't give them that. And Ralph could sing before they got older. Ralph could actually sing because he had a little Michael Jackson vibe. And then Ricky could sing. So you got 3 out of 5 that can sing, or 4 out of 6.
That's enough to say.
So that's enough you
Don't
can
say
sing.
all in New Edition though. Come on.
Yeah, like we know Ronnie and Mike can't sing, and they never pretended to.
Hey, that's probably somebody that just started listening to him when Hit Me Off came on.
Number 7, Aaliyah.
Ooh.
You know
Now,
what?
while
You
you
know
guys
what?
ponder, let me say what the article said. Basically,
Hey,
that
that's
posthumously after she died, that's when she kind of got big.
Here's what I think is unfair when it comes to Leah. In the beginning of her career is when we said she couldn't sing. And then before she died, we actually started hearing some vocal pieces
Some
of
live
her.
stuff.
But because she died, we didn't get a chance to hear
Well,
more.
let me tell you something.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you why I agree with you, Sam. I think the reason Aaliyah had got so big post death, it wasn't really just the Tupac thing. It was really that album that was coming out. The album that was coming out right before she died was fucking incredible. And she was actually Static Major had her singing on that album. So I think she was about to come into her own, and she was going to like that next level right when she passed.
The movies too.
She was doing
The only thing I agree with just that. Her live performance at the Oscars was pretty horrible, bro.
I don't
know if you
remember.
heard it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But she sung the, I think it was the
Queen of the Damned song?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Or it was either, or was it for an animated film? But it was, or it might have been Queen of the Damned.
Right.
She sung it, and it was just,
Well, I just feel like we didn't get it. Yeah, but I wouldn't have put her on that list. Yeah, I wouldn't have put her on the list as a horrible vocalist.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what
I
I'm
wouldn't have
saying.
put her on the list as a horrible
Right.
vocalist.
She's hitting Miss.
Well,
Alright,
the
man.
next one is definitely horrible. Trey Songz. They say his voice sounds like he has kind of.
I think Trey Songz is too far late in the list. I think he should be early. That nigga, he's a yodeler. He's a yodeler.
Right.
He's number 6, but I don't know if they did.
I think he should have been like number 2 or 3.
He's not
Yeah.
young.
He's a yodeler. Which one of y'all? That fucking vibrato.
Well, they say his voice sounds anorexic, which I don't know what that is, but.
Like, grow up.
Yeah.
All right,
That
Keisha
nigga supposed to grow
Cole
up.
is on there. They got a nice picture of her
I
though,
think she
but
can
they say she
sing.
can't sing.
Wait, what?
I think.
You think he's called to sing?
I mean, I just heard. Like I said, I haven't
Man,
heard.
Keisha Cole be sharper than cheddar cheese, nigga. All the time. Let me tell you something. If you can be sharp on a actual record, like right now, hell no.
You know what? I never heard her live. I can't. And I'm not a.
Have you ever heard?
What's the rest of it? Because I said something about like her being the type of person that can go to a family event and sing, and you.
It
Oh, maybe
says.
that's what it is. I can't see
She said, it says, much like Alicia Keys, Keisha Cole has proved that looks means everything and talent is a distant second place. She's the cousin in your family that sings good enough to show you up at Thanksgiving, but not good enough for you to ask her to dance down the aisle for your wedding.
Yeah.
The same cousin that sits in the
sings.
crowd judging
Right.
singing.
Listen, she can give me an A and B selection.
Right.
That's about it.
Right.
When she started yodeling that love, when she was on the Soul Train Awards,
Oh.
and she yodeled that love, I wanted to jump to the
Yodel?
TV
You say
and just
yodel
choke the
that
shut up. Yeah. All right, now who takes?
Akon.
Akon should
No,
be on
he
this.
should not have been. He's not a singer.
Akon's not a singer. I don't think
You know,
Akon
I'm not
considers
surprised.
himself
Yeah,
a singer.
he's not.
Like, you ain't never heard Akon like, yo, I'm about to sell this piano and blow it
That's like R.
down.
Kelly trying to be like on a rapper list. Like, he's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
What is he?
Akon,
He's a performer.
He's like a rap singer. He's like Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
He's in he's a
right.
rap singer. He's in the Nate Dogg. And what's the nigga saying?
Locked up.
Not that, but the other
Got the
nigga.
kind of.
Return of the Mac. I don't
right.
care. That nigga ain't no singer.
Right.
Oh, that was
You're
it.
like to
That's
be.
Akon.
No, it's not
Nah,
Akon, but
but
it's
I'm
like,
saying,
to
he's that
me,
type
that's
of
the
guy.
same,
Right.
same genre type.
I got
Butch
you.
Cassidy, all them
He
niggas.
shouldn't even be
You know what I'm
there.
saying?
I
Yeah.
got you. Okay, who else?
All right, number 3 is Alicia Keys.
Absolutely.
Wait.
Brandon doesn't agree. Brandon don't think Alicia should be on this
You
list.
gotta tell- so-
I
so-
think
You know what?
I'm
Okay, she came out like I
That sounded like
right.
her.
She came out because you know you saw piano and you had the female Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
comparisons and shit.
Mhm.
So I'm basing it again. Then you know I defer this to you. I'm not.
No, you can have your opinion though, you know.
But is it, can you explain to me though what as a person who's in music and knows what to listen for? Can you explain? To me?
Same reason, the same problem I got with her, the same problem I got with Keisha Cole.
Okay,
She
but
be
also,
sharp as cheddar cheese.
But could you also address though? They also said not only just the singing,
Why?
they actually say she's like average as a pianist too. And I want to know why they say.
I wouldn't say she's average as a pianist.
Yeah, I
No,
said she's remedial.
yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
not a remedial piano player, but she's not as good as they have.
They make her out.
Yeah, she's not as good as they got people to believe she is.
My problem with her is,
Okay.
right,
So you agree too, Sam?
as being that the fact that she plays piano and she has a sound, that she can hear. How do you not hear yourself? That's the part that bothers me. You should be able to press a key. This is the key.
And match the key.
And match that shit.
But Sam, do you agree
And
that she can't sing?
she can, but she just I'll be like, where are you at right now?
She got very wavery bad, like
Really?
her key, her pitch is not the best.
Her voice got acne.
Wow.
Come
Wow,
on,
man.
man. Come on.
Well, let me tell you something. What's funny about that? You don't know my name. To me, is her best vocal performance today, right? I love the way she sounded on that record, and you know Kanye produced that record.
Yes.
But what's crazy is
That
the
was
best I
crazy.
ever heard Keisha Cole sound was on "You Changed My Mind," which was a Kanye record as well. The
Okay.
best she's ever sounded
So
vocally.
y'all saying that they've had good producers on it, and that's what?
Yeah.
I think, well, after watching, I don't remember what it was last year, I think, Alicia Keys was performing, but she was like trying to be on the drums and sing and do all. I think if she
The
sang,
drum machine too.
yeah, it was just so outrageous. I think if she sang, we might be a little bit more impressed alone.
No, we wouldn't. Let me tell you something. Because I remember one time they tried to take Alicia off that piano.
Off the piano?
When she was doing the song with Eve and shit,
Mhm.
and they had her like looking hella awkward trying to dance around. I'm like, if you don't sit your ass down at this
Well, I
piano,
mean, that's what I'm saying. Just
I
either play, play or sing.
No, see, this is the thing.
But she's
got-
trying to dance.
No,
that ain't
no,
gonna
she
work
kind of got
either.
that John Legend thing. It comes together. They have to play and sing because if you take the piano and you just let Alicia stand flat foot in the middle of the stage and sing, it's nothing special about it.
Because she can't dance.
Yeah.
No,
Her shit is
no.
awesome.
And her vocals ain't good enough to just be like, just stand there with a mic and
They're
sing.
not Stevie Wonder, man.
You take all the special away from her.
Yeah.
Like, if you met, soon as John let you get up from that piano, you be like, well, if you don't sit your awkward ass
Right.
down.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I can't say that she's not
Right.
talented, but she definitely belongs on our list.
Who's number one?
Number one, let's guess. Let me have you got, wait, no, this is number
Yeah,
two.
who's number two?
Let's see if y'all can guess. Let's see if y'all can guess. Quinn, what's your guess?
This is gonna be some.
A
This gonna be
female or
some.
guy?
This gonna be some bullshit. So I'm probably gonna say some. Probably like.
Oh, Keith Sweat?
Oh.
Yeah, that's my vote.
That's your
Keith
guess?
Sweat.
Keith Sweat, yeah.
Keith Sweat?
Yeah.
Keith Sweat.
It's
Keith
unanimous.
Sweat.
Keith Sweat, number two.
Boom! And he absolutely deserves to be on the
Yeah,
list.
he definitely.
He should be number one.
Yeah, they said that they guessed they're just giving his songs were awesome, so they're giving it.
Yeah, Terry Roddy helps. He sounds better.
What's number one?
Guess number one.
I didn't believe it. I
Take my
knew it,
break.
and I didn't believe they put her on there.
They said, take my
No, you don't know, so don't say it.
Not like
Okay,
this
so don't
voice.
say it.
I'm not. I just,
Number one. I see
Who's worse than Alicia Keys?
I personally agree on
Macy Gray?
you agree with
That's who should have been
that?
number one.
Macy Gray?
Oh, I mean, who should have been, but who's on the list is not. You got a guess, Jay?
No, I don't. Who is it?
Beyonce?
Oh.
Hey, the
Oh.
BI gonna get you, boy.
Oh shit, we said it live too.
Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Look
I-
at Dave.
like,
No,
no,
look at Dave.
this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you don't agree. You
Out
don't
of
agree.
early Mary J.
Early Mary
Blige,
J. Blige.
Crack, Casey, and JoJo Mary, yes. This Mary J, she went and got some vocal lessons.
Yeah.
I've been to 3 of her live shows. She actually sounds good live now. I wouldn't have her number one on the list. You know who I would have number one on this list? And I hate to say it because it's my baby, Ashanti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she sounds better now.
I'm gonna stop shouting, Sam.
She
I'm
sounds
gonna
better
slap the
now.
shit out of
No,
you.
I heard her. I think the song that I heard, I was like, okay.
Sam,
Heard it.
Ashanti, my nigga, so you would still take Ashanti
Baby,
vocals
baby,
over
baby.
Mary J. Blige
Sam,
at this point right now?
Don't look at her. Listen to her.
Right.
Yeah, like
right.
close your eyes. Now I ain't talking about
Right.
the video you saw.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about she having them little red shirts. I'm talking about what.
Sam looking at her like, damn, she sound good.
That doesn't make sense.
She got
Take it out of
that nigga
it.
TV on mute. She sound great.
Take it out of it. Come on, Ashanti.
Who vote would you take right now? Ashanti over Mary
Hey,
J.
so what's the next topic, bro?
Oh, that's it. You gotta choose. I mean, you choose.
Look at his Mary J though.
I hate
Yeah.
You
you.
took Mary J. Blige?
Now, worst dancer is Mary J.
Oh,
Okay?
by far.
Hey, you know what's
To
funny?
be honest,
But what's funny is, let me tell you what's funny about the Mary J. Blige. You realize that it's a piece of a puzzle.
Yeah.
When you see Mary J. and Diddy bopping together, the concert,
Yeah.
like, oh,
Right.
it makes sense.
It
Like,
does.
you need the two
But
of them together.
alone, it
But
looks
but when
retarded.
she's alone, it
Hey.
looks dumb.
yeah,
Hey.
because why was I like jamming at the
Hey.
concert?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm watching
Yeah. You was dancing with her like you was Janet. I was like,
Hey, he probably
But
told
Diddy
her
was
that's
there.
hot shit. He probably was the one.
No, the thing is, when you see them together, it's like, it matches. Like, when
Right.
he was doing his thing and she was doing her bop, I'm
Right.
like,
But I'm saying, though,
oh, it
to
makes
me,
sense.
yeah, everyone like,
Everybody was in that motherfucker.
Right. But he
We all
produced it first, right?
Fan of that.
We all had our part.
Did he produce it first?
Yeah, he produced
So I'm
it.
saying, he was probably the one that was like, yo, do this.
Do that
This
shit.
shit is hot as fuck right now.
Yeah.
She just, right.
Hey, but you know what's crazy? I was telling Chad this. They were together on Father MC song.
Yeah, on What You Do For Me?
Yeah, she was the backup.
She was.
She's singing and Diddy the backup dancer.
Yeah,
So they've been grooving for years.
yeah.
But yeah,
I ain't heard that.
But like I said, I was like, oh, the Mary J. Bop has so much more relevance. It hit me while we was at the Bad Boy concert.
yeah, because nobody said nothing about her dancing at the concert.
Hell no, because her and
Well,
Diddy,
Diddy, it makes
matched.
sense. It makes sense.
It makes sense. And it's just like, if you seen Pam from Total doing that shit by herself without
Yeah.
Total, you're like, fuck she doing? But when she up there with all three of them, and you see them all bopping together, the shit kind of fits
Yeah.
together. It makes sense. It's a part of a bigger puzzle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. But her singing, no.
All right, let me ask you: is there anybody else y'all think should have been on that list that wasn't there?
Yeah, Macy Gray. You said Macy
Oh,
Gray.
that's
Great.
Yeah. But see, I put Macy Gray in the Akon shit. I don't think Macy Gray thinks she's a singer. I think Macy Gray does what she
Are
does.
some people that actually try to?
Yeah, like somebody who thinks, like Ashanti thinks she's a fucking singer. Like Ashanti will go try to sing the Star Spangled Banner. You ain't never heard Macy Gray like, I'm gonna go sing the Star Spangled Banner. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, you will get Ashanti thinking she gonna sing a Christmas song on a Christmas special. So I'm talking about people like that. Like, who is somebody who you like, they really think they can sing, but they need to sit their ass at home sometimes?
Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry, ladies already. I'm sorry, but Genuine, man.
Nah, Genuine.
Nah, Genuine can go.
Yeah, Genuine. You know what it is? Genuine got his lane.
You know what? I'm thinking of probably new Genuine, because that video he did.
Yeah, that's where y'all messing up. This nigga talking about new Ashanti and new Genuine. I don't even comprehend that shit. I don't even comprehend new Ashanti and new Genuine.
Yeah, Genuine got a stomach and shit now.
I'm just a bachelor.
He was all genuine on them shows.
No, Genuine can sing.
Genuine,
I don't think Genuine belongs in that.
Like,
That's what I said, we can't count because well, you know, we did count New KC.
Yeah, y'all got New KC.
But even New Genuine ain't on the level of New KC.
KC sound like somebody uncle.
I already told you a while ago. I feel like Woody.
Who?
Woody from Drew Hill?
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I get
Woody
you.
from Drew Hill's on the
Because the new member would blow his ass out the party.
When I heard
Woody was the goofy looking. He looked like his name Woody. He was just a gump nigga. He looked like a duck.
right.
He looked like his name was Woody.
He looked like his name was Woody. He just looked like an awkward duck that danced. He always looked like he was trying to figure out what he was ordering. Every video he was like,
and he sang with a list.
like, and everybody else would look cool, and then Woody be like,
He looked like his name was
I used to sing with a list. Like,
Stupid.
he scared that.
him and the girl from
Oh, you so
3LW.
stupid.
Right. Oh, she got them teeth though.
Al Jarreau.
She has them teeth like
We're in this love together, together, they land forever.
He sounds just like that.
Like candles.
I don't know. I don't know.
Cindy Lauper.
Yeah, you know this.
Oh, Cyndi Lauper, yeah.
Cyndi Lauper can't sing worth this
Oh,
shit.
speaking of Cyndi Lauper,
Madonna.
did y'all see
That's who the
Madonna?
fuck should have been
Did
number
y'all
one on
see
the
Madonna's
list.
video with that butt, that ant butt hanging out?
Looking like the nigga you have to beat in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Why was she looking like that?
Hey, what? Cause I'm trying to think. Even on Like a Virgin, her vocals.
Madonna could never sing.
Well, we don't talk about white people. There's a lot of them white folks.
Well,
Oh yeah, this shit's white. They sing too. We throwing them in there too.
Let me tell you, the one song that I heard Madonna sound decent, just decent. I think she sounds good. Borderline was the only time I ever heard her like really sing a melody. Borderline. Go listen to Borderline. That's the only time Madonna sounded like a little okay. All the rest of that shit.
No, Argentina though, shit was alright.
No, fuck that. Oh, I hate that. That was probably me, Argentina. I want to kill. Hey, that's, if you ever heard a song that makes you just want to kill yourself every time you hear it.
Is Madonna the most overrated artist of all time?
Yes.
Hold on, let me think.
Well, she was a sex symbol, so at the
Man,
time, at a very important time in music. So it kind of.
She's up there. She might be
It
top.
depends.
She might be top too.
It
I
really
didn't know
depends.
what's
She was a sex symbol at the time, and she did change the culture
changed,
at the
right,
time.
right.
But I still think she probably is up there for the most
overrated,
overrated
especially
artist.
now. Like,
Yeah, she's one of the most overrated artists. Like, it's that share thing though. You know how like white people catch a hold of somebody and it's just like
They won't let go.
they won't let go. It's
They
like
don't let
Madonna
go.
got that share shit now.
Yeah.
Cause Cher ain't never been my shit. Like Cher has never been my
Yeah,
jam.
Cher voice is.
It's annoying as fuck. She is Trey Songz.
why is she not on the list?
This shit
Because
is
that was the
racist.
blacklist. That was the blacklist.
Oh, okay. Well,
Matriarchy.
Yeah, I'm throwing everybody.
Matriarchy doesn't even
Hey,
make sense here.
Before we get to Mary J. Blige, we going to Madonna.
I'm not matriarchy. Yes, I can.
We going
We
to
done.
Madonna. We going through all that.
Alright, I got a controversial person to add.
Okay, who?
The whole group of N-Mode.
Damn.
I can't.
Not even Cindy?
Listen, let me tell you something.
And Terry?
When I was younger, I used to love Invoke.
Yeah.
Love Invoke. And I'm talking about they song. When I got older, I went back and listened to that Invoke. I'm like, these bitches is horrible. Like, they sound terrible. Yeah, if you go back and listen to their album right now, I'm like, they sound horrible, yeah.
You know what it was? They were, I don't think, I can't really.
Well, they harmonized at a time. Nobody was harmonizing. Right?
Yeah, and also, I think they were like
Fucking Britney Spears.
probably the best thing we have seen as an all-female
Yeah.
group since like the Supremes.
No, they was pretty. They was as pretty to like SWV was out at the time.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, I like SWB more than I like them both.
That's what I'm saying.
But
they was
SWB
pretty.
was like one person though.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
were like Coco.
But they was pretty and had the look, and they was selling them like
Right.
the Supremes. Because even if you would think like Diana Ross ain't no cold ass singer like that either.
No,
but that's how. But the Supremes went down in history as one of the greatest female groups ever. So you know, it's kind of that thing. But I was like, I listened back, and me and Daniel was laughing because we was like, yo, this shit is terrible. Like if you really listen to even when they did the Jackson 5, part before Hold On To Your Love.
But,
I'm like, this shit is
well,
bad.
see, the problem is, anytime you take something, like, because Mike killed that shit.
Right.
So every time somebody try that, you always like, this ain't Mike.
But at the time when it came out, we was rocking with it.
Yeah.
Like when it came out.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At
Yeah,
the time when it
they
came out, we was really rocking with info. Like, oh, they killed this. And I listened to it recently. I'm like, yeah, this shit is horrible. Like, they sound like 4 Alicia Keys.
Like what?
They sound like
What
four
was the point of
Alicia
Alicia Keys?
God damn!
Like what?
4 Alicia Keys.
4 Alicia Keys.
Fucked up, bro.
You know what?
Fucked up.
The black guy from Color Me Bad. I just felt like I should just put his
He was horrible. You right,
Give
us a trailer.
He didn't carry
He was horrible.
You the black.
You the
ain't
black,
carry your
one
weight.
nigga ain't
Right.
calling me back.
You
You the
ain't
worst
carry your
vocalist.
weight.
You the worst vocalist, yeah.
Get your ass off.
Reverse racist. They did that shit on purpose. I'm like, nigga, you gonna be the white nigga in the R&B group. You gonna be the white nigga in the R&B group. Hey man, we about to get out of here. We want to thank everybody for joining Uncouth. Wild Bunch will be at the Green Olive on Friday night. Come check us out. 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Free before 9 o'clock. I think it's like $10 after 10 or something like that. So come fuck with us. We're gonna do 2 shows, like we do 2 sets. And if you want to have like your holiday party or something, or want to bring on your peaceful party, let us know. We'll set up a little reserve section for you and all that. It ain't nothing stupid like $1,000 for a bottle and all that Hollywood bullshit. It's for the grown and sexy. We'll see y'all next week. I want to thank my co-host, Mr. Hammond, not to be mistaken with Fred. We got the Hulkster in the house. We got Q the Rebel and Jackie Chandra. Damn Daniel couldn't make it today. He had just got back in from a trip and he looked like he was gonna pass out. So we'll see him next week. And on the camera, y'all, we got Jamila. Y'all want y'all to let's sing happy birthday to Jamila.
Yes.
One, me.
Which happy birthday we doing though?
The regular one. We ain't doing this one.
Okay.
No, I think we are recording the hell out of this.
I was on happy birthday.
We are the world.
Hey, look.
One.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha, cha, cha.
Happy birthday to you. Yippee! Happy birthday, dear Jamila.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Yippee!
Bang, bang, bang.
Thanks, Pops. That was the worst.
Coordinate.
Got a coordinate. Yippee! All right, we'll see y'all next week, man. We out of here. Let's play a song or something so he can tell me the story about these.
Oh yeah, man. You stay with the sweets, man.